Fit Tribe people. I'm Lucy and I was supposed to be going live on the Fit Tribe Instagram today at 11 a.m, but unfortunately technology failed us and I was unable to log in. We tried a lot of things. If anyone's got any ideas, I'm sure Louise would love to know if we can have help with that for the future. But anyway, we moved on and I'm just going to record this workout now that I was going to put on the live anyway, and it can go on the Fit Tribe IGTV and also on the Facebook page, so you can access it at any time, which is great. So my name is Lucy. I've known Louise for about a year, just over a year now, when my mum joined her Fit Tribe group and raved about it, absolutely loves it. Is still a member now, and then I went along to a few sessions and actually did the Total Warrior event last summer, which is kind of like a Tough Mudder, but Louise inspired me to do that and she led a few preparation training sessions for that, which were great. And I've always really been into running and enjoyed that, but when I went to university I got really into the gym and doing proper gym workouts in big industrial gyms with all the machines and the fancy equipment, which I loved and were great. But then lockdown struck and that was no longer an option for me in terms of exercise, and Louise realised that quite a few of her followers might be feeling the same way. If you're really into going to the gym and using all the fancy equipment, unlike running where you can just go outside, you can't really achieve the same sort of thing at home, but you can get very, very close. So Louise wanted me to show you what I've been doing to get as much of a good resistance training workout in as I can do, as closely matching what I was doing in the gym. So that's what I'm going to do today. So all the exercises that I'm going to show you can be done at home. You just need a little bit of space. You don't need any weights or any equipment if you don't want to, but obviously if you've got anything that's going to increase the resistance, then that's perfect. I'm lucky enough to have a few little weights and some resistance bands, which I really like to use. But if you don't have weights, there's a trend going around where you can fill up water bottles, which can make a pretty good alternative, so I've heard, but I would really recommend definitely investing in a good training band. I know that Louise has recently been given an ambassadorship with Smug Active, which offer products such as the training bands, and they're really, really nice quality, and you can actually get 20% off when you shop with them if you use FitTribe20 as your code. All the information for that is on Louise's Linktree in her Fit Tribe account, which I cannot get into, but you can all access that, I'm sure. And if you go onto that Linktree, then I think it's the top one, she said, linking to the Smug Active, which has got some really, really good stuff, especially if you're wanting to up your home workout equipment. But certainly all the workouts that I'm going to be showing you, they can be done with absolutely nothing other than your own body and the floor. But you can add the weights, either weights or water bottles, or you can add resistant bands, or you can add a mixture of both bands and weights. And you can kind of go in a pyramid style if you aren't sure what you want to add. So start off doing it at body weight. If you think you want some more resistance, add as you go along, and you can always take it away, it doesn't really matter. So today I'm going to be showing you my top 5 exercises that I use that hit the whole body, and by that I just mean legs, butt, arms, chest, back. So that's really good for if you don't have the flexibility to allocate sort of a different muscle group to different days of the week. I know people do enjoy doing that, but that does often require you to have the time to work out every single day, or at least most days. So this kind of workout where you're hitting everything in a nice short space of time, I do it 2 or 3 times a week depending how much time I've got available, and then I feel confident, you know, that I've worked out all the areas that I want to within the week. And another benefit of doing a full body workout is that it's actually quite difficult. It's quite a big strain on your cardiovascular system as well as your muscles. So you get those really nice endorphins, you feel quite pumped afterwards. And also it's a good way to work on your heart health and your circulation and upping your cardiovascular ability, which is all good stuff, I'm sure. So yeah. So I tend to do 10 reps of each of the 5 exercises, and then I take about a 30-second break and then go into the next exercise until I've done all 5, and then that's one circuit that I've completed. So then I'll have a slightly longer break, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, depending how tired I am that day, and then I'll go back and start the circuit again. And I aim to do that 5 times, so it's like a 5 by 10 by 5 system. It's quite easy to remember, but you can add or take away from those numbers as you please. But this one usually lasts about 25 to 30 minutes for me, including a warm-up and a cool-down. So I know that once I've done it, I definitely feel exhausted. I feel like I've had a good workout. My muscles are a little bit sore the next day, but not too bad. So it's just a really good system that's been working for me. Obviously, we've got to be starting with our warm-up. Nothing too exciting. I just kind of go in with a few standing high knees just to remind my legs that they're about to be pushed quite hard. And then you can just kind of check if you've got any pain anywhere doing this, which hopefully you shouldn't have, but if you do, maybe look at sorting that out before you continue. From here, I just hold onto the wall and do some forward kicks. And the other leg. And then just some basic windmill arms. You can't do one way and then one the other. You can do them both going the same way, both going forward, or you can switch it up. This is just me showing off now, because I know some people can't do this, but yeah. Another good one from the arms is just what I call star jump arms, because you're doing a star jump but with just your arms, not your legs. Just a little down. And then I like just to do a nice neck roll, because if you're like me and you sit at a desk, a lot of the time your neck can really start to feel the pressure of that. Right, so then I just get straight into the workout. So the first thing that I'm going to do is a squat into an overhead press. So I'm combining 2 pretty common activities into one movement. That way, again, you're upping your heart rate a bit more when you do it, and it's just more efficient in getting everything done. So I'm just going to show you it with no equipment. For the first full circuit, we'll just do no equipment at all. So if you don't have anything but a floor and maybe a chair and a wall, then this is going to be perfect for you. So we'll do 10 reps of the first one. Squat down, arms up. That's 2. I've lost count already. I think it's 7, 8, 9, 10. So now just 30 seconds, and I'm going from quite a heavy one to a slightly less cardiovascular based exercise, just so that you don't get overwhelmed in the first portion. So the next thing we're going to do, you just need a chair or anything that's about knee height in level with your knee, and you're just going to get a stance so that your back is all the way straight like this, and then you're just going to take your arm and row. 2, 9, 10. Obviously it's 10 on each side. 2, 9, 10. And that's giving you a little bit more of a breather from the first one, and now we're back into a slightly heavier one, which is going to be a lunge into a lateral raise, which is just that with your arms. So down, out, back up, swap legs. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So obviously you've only done 5 on each leg, but because you've got the squats at the beginning and we're going through the whole circuit 5 times, your legs will definitely get enough of a workout that you don't need to do 10 on each side for that one. So the next thing, we're going to be targeting the chest. So as you can see, we've done legs and shoulders, then back, then legs and shoulders again. Now we're going into the chest and also the triceps. So for this, just a simple press up. You can do it all the way if you're strong. I am not. Or you can just do it with knees, or you can do it against a wall, or anything that makes it slightly easier, as long as you've got that little bit of tension. And we're going to alternate. So I've got quite a wide grip here, and that's going to do your chest majoritively and a little bit of your triceps. And then we're going to go into a thinner one, and that's going to do most of your triceps and a little bit of your chest. So wide, narrow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, they're always harder than they look. And the final thing, we're going to go back to more of a combo, which is going to be the stiff-legged deadlift and bicep curls, because we haven't quite hit our biceps yet. We've got them a little bit with the row, but this is just going to put that extra focus on them. So for a stiff-legged deadlift, stiff doesn't mean fully locked knees, it's just slightly relaxed but not bent. So just as you would stand up normally, and then you're just going to bend from the hip like this, keeping that back straight. And as soon as you start to go like that, that's when you stop. Some people can get really far, some people might only be able to get to there. Either way is absolutely fine. And you're just going to go down, and then use your glutes and your hamstrings to push yourself back up, and then do the bicep curl. So 1, 2, 3, front, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that is one circuit completely done. You know what, I usually use equipment, but doing that completely with just body weight, and I am actually pretty exhausted. So I've just taken about 2 minutes of a break, had some water, and now I'm going to go back in and start my circuit again, and this time I'm going to use the little weights that I've got. So starting off with the squats, I usually just rest them here. You can rest them wherever. This is just comfortable for me in this one. Down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, whew, little 30-second break. It is important to have that break, even if you think, oh, I feel fine, I can go straight into the next one, because sometimes I do, but it will catch up with you, and then you don't want the last exercise that you perform in the circuit to not have the same energy as the first one. So do take this 30 seconds just to lower your heart rate slightly, just so you can put the same amount of effort into all the exercises throughout the circuit. Okay. So same again for the row, and all I've got now is just a weight in my hand. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Swap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Whew. Do make sure to keep having lots of water throughout your workout, especially now that we've got quite a lot of heat. The indoors can get quite warm. So into the lunges and lateral raises, again exactly the same as when I had no equipment. I'm just going to use the weights for a bit of extra resistance now in my hands. So down, out, you can see the way I'm lunging is I'm stepping in, doing that, and then I'm pushing off with this front foot to come back. I like to lunge this way just because it's quite a lot of focus on the glutes. And also I find it a bit easier to balance. Eight, 9, 10. So with the press ups, you obviously don't need any equipment at all, and you can make it quite challenging, even just using your full body weight, kind of getting that longer and longer further back with your knees, and putting more strain on the exercise. But if you did want to change that up, sometimes I like to switch in for just a floor press using weights, just for a little bit of a change. And it's exactly the same movement, just inverted. So I just lie down on the floor, my shoulders back, you can bend your knees, and then I just go, same again, out wide, and then narrow, wide, narrow, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's just a variation on what I would just call my chest and triceps movement. Other variations are, like I said before, against a wall. Whatever you kind of feel is most comfortable for you, that's the best option always. And then finally, we've got the stiff leg deadlift into bicep curls. And again, exactly the same as when I had no weights. Just hold them in front, going down, and then curl. 2, 3, 4, side, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I just did 11. It's okay. And that is the second round of that all done. So now the last circuit that I'm going to show you today is going to be with both weights and a resistance band. Just a reminder again, Smug Active do lovely quality bands. I've ordered mine through Louise, through her link, to get the 20% off. And I'm extremely excited for that, and it's just really, really cool that they've reached out to Louise and seen her as a really positive ambassador for this sort of thing. So it's great. And they just come and they just look like this, and you just wrap them around the top of your legs, just above the knee, and you can already feel the tension just doing that. If you're not used to bands, just start off by getting a light one. They do them in kind of light, medium, heavy resistance, and you can work your way up till you find one that's really, really good for you. But you'll see straight away, especially in the squat movement, as soon as you put a resistance band on, it feels like you've got an extra 10 kilograms on your back, which is great. If you really want to get that feeling that you're in a proper gym environment and you've got access to that kind of thing, even when you don't. So the first exercise again, squat to overhead press, using both weights and the resistance band. And we just go down and up. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. That is tough. It's certainly tough. And then moving on to the rows. This sort of thing doesn't require a resistance band. So we're just back on with just the weights. Let myself take that time, give myself another 10 seconds, just so I know that I'll give it my all. Okay, straight back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you're doing that exercise, a really good tip is to imagine that you're being pulled from your elbow, so you're not kind of using your hand to push back. It's instead like you've got a string there and that's being pulled up like that. And you should feel that nicely in your back. So the next one we're going is the lunges. Again, you can use your resistance band here. And you simply put it in the same spot, and as you lunge, oof, you really feel that. So we go down. Oof. You might find that you need a different resistance for squats versus lunges. I could probably use a slightly lighter one. This is definitely very hard, but it's good. 4. You can also throw your balance off a bit, or maybe it's just me, you guys might be fine. But all of that is great for incorporating your core even more. All of these exercises, while they're not directly training your core muscles, they're all being utilised throughout it to maintain the balance, especially in these more complex full body exercises. 9, 10. Whew. And now onto the chest again. Don't need the resistance band for this one. I'm going to go back to my press ups, because I actually find these are more difficult because obviously my body weighs more than 4 kilograms. Let's start with my wider stance. If you're feeling you want a bit more, just the more flatter you go versus the more scrunched up you are. Scrunched up, very technical term, that will increase the resistance for you. So I'm going to go back here. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. And the final one on this circuit is back to those stiff-legged deadlifts. And again, your resistance band comes in very helpful for adding some extra strain onto you. Combination of band and weights, just the same place again. And as you go down, the band also makes it really easy to have something to push your knees out against. If you're someone that tends to knock your knees in, it's really helpful. You push your knees right against it, which is a great way to engage your glutes. And that's just extremely helpful if you want to get a serious burn, which it does give. So, biceps, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Reminder to the side. 10. Whew. If at any point you feel any pain when you're doing these exercises, do just stop, and I'm sure Louise will be able to help you out if you want to get in touch with her with any problems such as that. But yeah, don't want anyone hurting themselves. And that's the end of circuit 3. So usually I would do 2 more, which I'm going to do now, but I don't want to make this really, really long. So I'll go back to you when I'm coming into my cool down. Okay, so I've completed all 5 of my circuits. I feel great, I feel very energized, I feel a little bit sore, and like I've had a really good workout, and that has taken me just about half an hour. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a cool down now before I then get on with the rest of my day. So mostly for a cool down I do stretching. This is really, really useful if you don't want to wake up with sore muscles the next day and possibly the day after. So my favourite stretches after this sort of thing is the quad stretch, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. There's a few variations on this. You can stand and hold onto a wall, or you can go into a lunge, and I'm just grasping my foot behind me here and then just pushing my hips forward, but making sure not to push my stomach forward. So it's not like that. You want to keep that hip straight and it's pushing from the hip, and you'll feel the strain like that. Don't let yourself go like this. Keep those hips in line with your head. And you want to hold these for about 20 seconds each. Whoa. You might also want to hold on to something as well if you're feeling a bit shaky. And that's a really good one for all down that quad, which has been worked quite hard in this circuit. Another muscle that's been worked quite a lot is your glute. So my favourite one for this is cross the leg and just pull across, and you'll feel it all here. Just hug that in as tight as you can. And then the other side. And then hamstring stretch. It's just one leg out in front, bend the knee slightly and just down like this, and you get all in there. The other one. I could honestly stretch for another half an hour. I think it's really, really good, but I won't for this video. But I know Louise has got loads on her YouTube channel, especially for post-run stretches, but they can be applied to anything, and it is really, really helpful to have a really good stretch. Not necessarily straight after the workout, but at some point in the day. It'll make your recovery a lot nicer, and then you'll be able to get back into working out much sooner. So do check out her other posts and her YouTube channel for sort of stretching routines. But just another upper body one I like to do is just clasp your hands out and then really round that upper back. You look a little bit like an old man, but it feels really nice all across your back there. And then just the reverse of that is stretching out the front, your chest and your shoulders like this. And let's do a nice side lean. And another one. And then that's all me all done. So thank you for watching, even though it wasn't on the live as we planned, but hopefully we get that sorted, and I'll be able to do a live for you in the future, but at least you've got this here. Thank you to anyone that's made it all the way through the whole thing, and I'm sure I will see you again.